Okay, today I'm going to introduce what I call the four-corner drill to a couple of these horses. Now, I kind of purposefully held off on starting any of them on it because I wanted to make sure I had a pleasant time to video and kind of go through the process. Not groomed or anything, I just went and caught them. But before you start, a couple things you need to always make sure your horse can do, and that is move his hip with your eyes and change directions with a little bit of a cue up front. And if you're a little bit jacked up, that's okay. You want to be able to manage his hip and manage his shoulders and send him forward and move his hip and grab him by the knot and back him up. So once you have those things going, you can kind of start this four-corner drill. And the way we do it is a real short line drill, just about 3 feet long maybe. And I get him going through this little gap here between me and the wall. And watch what's going to happen. I've never done it with him. But what I'm going to try to do, get him through the gap. I'm going to trade hands here and put my eyes to his hip, try to get that hip to step around. I'm going to do that a couple of times and see how my left hand's free. I'm going to reach out like this, let him see my hand. I'm going to wave it and then tap him on the jaw and make him step his front end across. I want the front to cross. But everything comes in increments. 4 phases to a cue. I point, show the rope, twirl the rope, tap him if I have to. Get him through the gap here. Everything happens in increments. I trade hands. I look at his hip. If his hip doesn't move, I would have picked this up and swung at him, spanked him on the behind. Now I'm going to show him this hand. I'm just going to wave it at him. And right there, if he started to step away, I'm happy with that. Let him think on it for a second. I let him go a couple of times so he doesn't start anticipating. I trade hands, eyes to the hip, left hand's free. I wait. That's okay. I don't want him to overreact. And right here, when he starts going sideways, I'm just going to stay with him. I'm just going to stay with him here till he settles. What I don't want to do there is plant my feet, let him move till he hits the end of the rope and swings his hip away. Because ultimately, I want him to cross his front end around, plant the hind end, and do a pivot on his haunches. It'll come, watch. And around you go. He doesn't move. I follow through. Everything goes in my right hand, eyes to the hip, left hand's free. And I want him to step across. He's got a dragging there. And I'll just stay with him until he stops. And pit. This is where having that backup will start to come into play. Because I'm going to send him around. Everything goes into my right hand. My eyes go to the hip. My left hand's free. As soon as he pop him there. As soon as he step, I'm going to go to my left hand. Now my right hand's free. See how I can bump him back onto his hind feet there? I can bump him back onto his hind feet. And so I can start to control his forward motion. And send him out and around. Tap him if you have to. Everything goes to the right hand. Eyes go to the hip. The left hand is free. Switch to my left hand. Drive him with the right. Go to the shoulder. Bump him backwards. There. And just taper to a stop here with him. Taper to a stop. When he stops, you stop. There. Ooh. Pretty soon he'll start thinking about planting his hocks and rotating around on his hind feet instead of running sideways. And sending forward. Everything goes to the right hand, eyes go to the hip. I'm not pulling his face here. Everything goes to the left hand, right hand comes up, and looky here, looky here. And when he steps across, that's when I shut down and taper to a stop. I don't just stop my feet, I taper to a stop with him. At his pace there. When I get him sideways, like this, I want that rope shortened up. I can control forward motion, but I want to swell my shoulders, puff myself up. That be his cue to move. If he fails, I show him my hand, wave, and I tap him right here on the big jowl. So I'm just going to swell myself up, show him my hand, wave, and then give him a little tap. And I watch those front feet. I swell myself up, show him my hand. And when he steps over, I just relax. Taper to a stop. Pat on him. I swell myself up. I show him that hand. When he steps across in the front, I quit. Does he have to be good at this today? No. Swell myself up. See here, I never had to raise my hand to him. I swell myself up. I just step into his space. When he steps across, I want another step out of him now. I want another step there. Then I taper to a stop. I want to show you what happens if I just plant my feet. I swell myself up. I show him my hand. He gets me a couple steps. Watch when I just plant my feet. And then he gets drifting away, kicking his hip around. I need to maintain position. Swell up, swell up, swell up a little bit, swell up a little bit. If he steps there, as long as he steps across. If he steps back, I just stay after him. Then I say, let's go this way. He says, I've not gone this way before. What's going on now? You got to go this way now. He says, well, I'm not quite sure what this is. You still got to go through this little gap. I want to make sure he's holding a pretty good circle for me here on a short line. But he's not pulling me all over the place too bad. Here we come. Everything goes into my left hand. My eyes go to the hip. My right hand comes up. That's okay. Trotsy, trotsy. Around the corner. Keep yourself moving. Everything goes into my left hand. My eyes go to the hip. My right hand is free. I'll wave at him. I'm going to kind of give him a little pop. A little pop. Until he... And out and around. Everything's short line drill. Everything goes to my left hand. My eyes go to the hip. My right hand comes up. Drive that shoulder across. At the jaw. There you go. Happy. My eyes go to the hip. My right hand comes up. You hear? Ooh. See how I came with him? He jumped. That's okay. But I went with him, and when he stopped, I stopped. Around you go. Around you go. Everything goes to my left hand. My eyes go to the hip. My right hand comes up. If he goes backwards, I just stay after him. After him. There. Until the shoulders start to drift. And off to the right you go. Get a little motion going here. A little energy in this step. Everything goes to the left hand. My eyes go to the hip. My right hand's free. Step him across. And right here is where I'll switch to my right hand, and I can bump him backwards onto his hind feet. See how that helped him rock back on his hocks and step his fronts across. Everything goes to the left hand. My eyes go to his hip. My right hand is free. I step the front across. Switch hands. Drive the front across. Rocking back on his hinds. And when he steps across, taper to a stop. Everything goes into the left hand, eyes go to the hip. Right hand is free. Switch hands. Stepping across, rocking back a little. Watch those fronts. Taper, taper, taper. Stop and love on him there. That was probably his best one. I was telling how smart he was for trying. There he goes to the left hand, eyes go to the hip, the right hand's free, switch hands, rocking back, drive him around, scrunched up shoulders. When he crosses, just taper to a stop. Now, hold him short, swell yourself up. There, see if that's enough. And swell yourself up and show him the hand if you have to. And swell yourself up. Good. And swell yourself up and show him the hand if you have to. Wave and pop him on the jaw. But I don't want him to ever feel like me putting my hand here he should be afraid of. I have pre-cued, energies up, showing him, then I wave. Good. Me just putting my hand up here and petting, that doesn't mean anything. And let's just send him off the other way, see if he's got any memory. A couple of laps here if we can. And everything goes to the right hand, my eyes go to the hip, my left hand is free, switch hands, rock him back, drive him around all the way. He's never had this done before, remember. And then send him off to the right, eyes go to the hip, right hand's free, switch hands, and rock him back on his hops. Step his front end across. Good, 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 good. And send him back out. That's a lot to ask of him, but I was hoping that came up on camera. And send him forward. Eyes to the hip. And just back him up a step or two and tell him how smart he is. Pretty soon, you're just doing this beautiful dance right here in this little figure 8. Hips, shoulders, hips, shoulders. Gets really pretty and really fun. 4-corner drill. Again, I've never done it with him, and the only reason I saved these two boys from learning it, because I wanted to always have the opportunity to maybe do from 0 to 10 here in demonstration. But before you start, you always got to check. Can I simply move my horse's hip with just my eyes? Both sides. Can I simply move his hip with just my eyes? That's very important. Can I send him to the right? Can I move his hip? Can I send him to the left? Can I keep him going left? Can I send his hip away with just my eyes? Can I pick him up and back him into his halter? If I have those 3 or 4 things working for me, I can start to teach him 4-corner drill. So we'll just kind of start him out. I'll just send him off here to my left. I'll send him between me and the wall here. This is good. It's a short line drill, again about 3 feet. He doesn't know what I'm about to ask of him. See, he's still got a little fart and piss and vinegar in there. I'll get another corner out of him. There we go. Everything goes to my right hand, my eyes go to the hip. I'll put my left hand out here. And if he wanted to move away from that pressure, boy, that was beautiful to me. I didn't have to escalate, wave, and tap him in the jaw. And notice, I'm not sitting here going out like this with my left hand the whole time. I cued him to go left, and now I'm done with that. He needs to, now I'll cue him for failing to continue. Everything goes to my right hand, my eyes go to the hip, my left hand's free, it comes towards his jaw. And right there, if he steps out and across like that, I'm happy, but I stick with him. I don't just plant my feet, and I let him taper to a stop, and I go with him. My left hand is more down here by my navel. If he quit, I would lift it out and then escalate with this swing of this rope if I had to. Watch. Everything goes into my right hand. My eyes go to the hip. My left hand is free. He sweeps. I go to the left hand. My right hand comes free. And look, I'm going to bump him right down here against the shoulder. Try to rock him back on his hocks. There and there. And I'm walking with him here. I'm trying to get him to there, there. I want him to taper to a stop. There. See how he's starting to plant the hind end a little bit. But I want him to stop, see? So I'm just going to gently bump him back on his hind end here. He's crossing over nice. But I'm going to stay with him until he stops. I'm going to bump him back on his hind feet. There, I'll just pet him right there. And rest moment. And off to the left you go. Everything goes into my right hand. My eyes go to your hip. My left hand is free. Everything goes to the left hand, down by your shoulder. I'm going to rock you back on your hind feet. And I'm going to try to, there, slow things down. My eyes, there. My eyes are down at his front feet that whole time we were doing this. I slow myself up by showing my right hand. I wave and bump him on the jaw. There, there. Get another one out of him. There, 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 there. Step across. And there, taper. Whoo, deflate. Love on. In time, you take that halter off, he'll just do all this with no halter. Get him pumped up a little bit here. Get some energy out of him. Bring him around and into the gap. Everything goes to the right hand. Eyes go to the hip. Left hand is free. Switch hands. Left hand comes to the shoulder. Push the front end across. Taper, taper. Good. Swell yourself up. Showing the right hand and taper. Good. And swell yourself up. Showing the right hand. Wave a little if you have to. Good. If he just gives me that one step, it's perfect. Swell yourself up and showing the right hand. Wave and taper. And swell yourself up and showing the right hand. Wave, bump. And off to the right you go. Everything goes to the left hand, eyes go to the hip, my right hand is free. Ooh, nice. Good boy. This is first time figuring this out. Call to your brother, isn't going to help. Everything goes to the left hand, eyes go to the hip, my right hand is free. Switch to my right hand, left hand comes up, eyes go to his front feet. If he's crossing over, I'll kind of taper. I'm going to try to taper to a stop. I'm going to try to rock him back on his hinds a little bit. Come up to a trot. You want to have just a little bit of momentum here to help carry them through. Left hand, eyes to the hip, right hand's free. Switch back to the right hand. Left hand comes up if I have to. Eyes go to the front feet. As long as he's crossing over. As long as he's crossing over. Over. I taper, taper, taper to a stop. Left hand, eyes to the hip, right hand's free. Switch back to the right, left hand comes up, eyes go to the front feet. Step over, rocking back, step over, rocking back. Step him over again. And stop, taper to a stop. Everything goes in my right hand, eyes go to the hip, left hand comes up, I switch back. Drive the front end across, please. Keep your neck straight. All the way around. All the way around, and send you back out to the right. Eyes go to the hip. Sweep the front. Hands go to the shoulder. Rock you back on his hocks. Step him across. Step him across. Send him out to the left. Eyes to the hip. Back him into his hind feet. Tell him how smart he is.